Hey guys, welcome to this week's lesson on fiber. So you've been hearing me preach about it now since the start of the program. So let's get into a little bit deeper here and find out exactly why it's so important, what it is, and how you get it. So what is dietary fiber? Well, dietary fiber is actually part of the plants that you cannot fully digest, and it has many benefits that we need for good health, and that's why it's so important that we get enough of it each day. You also may hear fiber referred to as bulk or roughage, and I don't care what you call it, but the most important thing to remember is that it's an essential part of every single one of your diets. So been mentioning it now to all of you for so long, and it's something that I want to see you starting to get on a daily basis and meeting those fiber goals. And another point that I want to make is that fiber is a carbohydrate, okay, but it does not have any calories. There's no caloric value to dietary fiber. It's a calorie-less form of carbohydrate, and it is processed in a different way than what other sources of carbohydrates are because it doesn't contain any calories. So why do we need it? Well, it keeps your digestive system healthy, and it prevents constipation by making your stools bulky and soft. It helps lower blood cholesterol levels and triglyceride levels. So we've already talked too about the benefits, and it's great to see everybody hitting new lows and all the weight loss that you're experiencing for those of you in it to lose weight. But it's also even more important that internally you're improving your health. And fiber is one of these nutrients that when you get enough of it, it helps do a lot of really good things internal that you can't necessarily feel right now. And one of the big ones is that it helps lower that blood cholesterol levels and triglyceride levels. It helps lower your risk of colon cancers, heart disease, and digestive problems. It improves blood sugar control. And then for those of you in this program to lose weight, it helps provide you with a feeling of fullness so that you potentially eat less the next time that you sit down for a meal and snack. And I like you to think of fiber as a sponge. So 1 gram of fiber is like a 1 gram sponge. When that 1 gram of fiber or that 1 gram of sponge hits your stomach, think of it as swelling. And just like a sponge with water gets a little bit bigger. It swells with water. And that's what's kind of happening inside of your stomach whenever you consume fiber. It swells, and whenever things swell inside your stomach, it provides that feeling of fullness. So you get different hormones that get sent to your brain signaling that you're potentially becoming full or are full, even though you may have eaten less calories. So it's a good thing. So how much fiber do we need? And if you've been paying attention to everything, you guys know that females should aim for at least 25 grams of fiber per day, and males need at least 30 grams of fiber per day. And an interesting but sad statistic is that most Americans eat only about half of that recommended amount each day, which does contribute to a lot of the health problems that we experience in the United States each year. So it's essential, it is vital to make sure that you get your grams of fiber in per day depending on your gender. So let's go through a couple quick and easy ways that you can boost that fiber intake. And you're really not going to see a whole lot of new things here, guys. It's stuff that I've been telling you about now since the start of the program. But for those of you that are coming up short, the majority of you are not getting enough fiber for your breakfast. And it's so important that you start your day with a fiber-rich cereal like whole grains, oats, bran flakes, or oatmeal. It's essential that you do that. If you don't, you're not going to smell it. You need to add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to that high fiber cereal. Not only is flaxseed high in fiber, but it's providing protein, essential fats like those omega-3s. It's a superfood that you should have in your diet every single day. You should top off that high fiber cereal with a berry, a sliced banana, or some raisins for an extra fiber boost. Have a piece of fruit or a serving of vegetable at every meal or snack. All right, so it doesn't matter if it's breakfast, if it's your evening treat, you should try to have some kind of fruit or vegetable at every meal or snack. Your snacking should be filled with high fiber fruits like pears, berries, apples, oranges, nectarines, and bananas. These fruits are typically the highest concentrated sources of dietary fiber that you can get. You should fiber boost your salads by using lots of colorful fruits and variety of beans. Choose whole grain breads as often as possible. All right, so you should always try to choose the whole grain version of those carbohydrates and not the refined white sources. Load up your portion plates with lots of extra vegetables. So you know that whenever you create your lunches and dinners that half of your plate should be filled with vegetables. Well, it's not going to hurt you to even pile on more if you're coming up short on fiber. Look for excuses at lunch and dinners to get in extra vegetables, just for an extra, not only for the vitamins and minerals that you're going to get from it, but from the fiber standpoint, it's really going to help boost those numbers. And then for those of you who don't necessarily eat a lot of beans, adding beans to your diet is a significant source of fiber. In fact, a half a cup of beans provides more more fiber than any other food that you can have. So they're a significant source of fiber if you're coming up short. And if you have a sweet tooth, cookies such as fig bars are a good source, but the best is actually an oatmeal and raisin cookie. So, even if you're choosing sweets on a regular basis, you can, use a cookie or a fig bar to your advantage and boost your fiber intake by choosing those. And then eat your fruit, guys. Don't drink it. Remember, don't drink your calories unless it's skim milk. All right, and do that whenever possible, because eating the whole fruit, including the skin, or vegetable, including the skin, is where you get the fiber from those things. If you choose the juice or the liquid version of that, you're not going to get the fiber. So let's look at it, just a couple more examples here. And instead of choosing those things on the left, you should try to choose those on the right. So in place of a plain bagel, try choosing a bran muffin. You get a significant amount more fiber than if you choose the plain. Instead of chicken noodle soup, try bean soup. Instead of a baguette slice, choose a whole grain roll. Or instead of a 1 cup serving of white rice, if you choose a 1 cup brown rice, you're tripling how much fiber that you're getting there. 1 cup of cornflakes should be substituted for 1 cup of bran flakes. You can see there's a significant difference in that. And then here's the difference between what I was talking about. 1 cup of orange juice has 0 grams of fiber, but 1 whole orange is going to give you 3. And then instead of an ounce of potato chips, try choosing 3 or more cups of popcorn, preferably without the butter and salt, but you may need a little bit of that to flavor it, and you get a significant fiber boost there. So, again, fiber is essential. It is something that cues me in and you in to knowing whether or not you're eating enough whole raw foods. Because if you are, that means that you're getting enough fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds, and all of those things in. If you're consistently falling short on your fiber intake, it's an instant cue to you and me that you need to do something different by adding more of those foods in, taking more of those processed foods out. So that's the conclusion to this lesson. We're going to take another look at fiber in a different way in the next lesson. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. But I hope this helped, guys, and I think you're going to learn something even more in the next lesson. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.